All right, today is Monday, December 12th. Usually on Mondays I work half the day from about 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And there's all these things I want to do on Monday, but I'm just so tired because on Saturday and Sunday I have some really tough work, and I'm just so exhausted from that on Monday I just want to chill out. But yeah, Christmas is coming up, and my wife, she's been gone for a year now, and I don't have any family here, and I don't think my wife is going to come back to Japan, and it's just something I'm not really looking forward to. Today is a beautiful day, and that's why I'm making this diary entry. But like for the past 2 weeks, it's just been cloudy and really, really cold here, and it's just like totally brings my spirits down. So, usually on Monday I teach kids, and every year we have like a Christmas theme lesson, and I told the lady that I work with, I said, I don't want to do this Christmas lesson. My heart's just not in it. I don't want to do it. I'm not looking forward to Christmas this year. But somehow I'm gonna have to persevere, I guess. And in terms of making friends, I really do make an effort to put myself out there, and by nature I'm like a really introverted person. It's not natural for me to be social and go out and talk to people, and I just sometimes even have trouble keeping a conversation going, unless I have some kind of motivation. It's just like that's just my nature. So when I want to make friends, I really have to, internally it's a really big effort for me. And recently I have been making the effort, but sometimes I feel like the more I try, the more resistance I get, and I just feel like sometimes I'd be better off not even trying, and maybe just being happy, being alone, and just not worry about it. And if new friendships come along, then that's fine, and if they don't, then I have to find solace in the just in being alone by myself. So a few interesting things that have happened to me recently. So last Saturday I had two of my friends come over, and they spent the night, and there was two Japanese girls, and it just turned out to be a really strange experience. And I really can't talk much about it, but it was just a really strange experience. And then the other day I was at McDonald's and just having a snack, and I heard these two or three men, talking, like they were sitting behind me, and I could hear them talking, speaking Japanese, and I was thinking to myself, wow, if I could just be involved in their conversation, man, I could learn so much Japanese. Because the way old people speak Japanese, it's like that's like the hardcore, the real Japanese, and I just really wanted to get in on their conversation, so I was trying to listen to what they were saying while I was eating, and they were just talking away, and I was like, wow, these men are really chatty, And so when I got up to leave, I was gonna throw my stuff, my trash away, and I looked back, and it wasn't three men behind me. There was three old women. So I was pretty shocked. These women had voices like little old men, so it's kind of surprising. What else? I was taking the bus the other day, and on this bus, there were all these schoolboys, like, I don't know, probably between the ages of like, I don't know, probably 9, 10 years old, and they were really, loud, talking really loud, and I was like, oh great, I'm gonna have to ride this bus with these noisy schoolboys. So what happened was the bus came, and all the passengers, all the non-children passengers, they let all the adults on the bus first. And so I got on the bus, and everybody sat in the front half of the bus, but I sat in the back because there was a kind of a big seat back there where I could have some leg room, and I sat in that seat. And then the conductor let the children on, and there was like a leader, a group leader for the children, and he was a young guy too. He looked like he was in his early 20s, but he was, managing all these kids, and the boys were getting on the bus, and I'm like, oh great, not only are they gonna annoy me just for being, loud, boisterous boys, but they're also gonna start making gaijin remarks like, oh, there's a gaijin, like that, and I just didn't want to deal with it. But I was like kind of starting to mentally prepare myself for this, I knew what was coming. And so I was just, I sit in my seat, and like there was 2 seats on the, like there was a row in the bus, there's 2 seats and then 2 seats, and I sat in the window seat, and then there was a seat next to me, and I put my bag on my lap, so it was like, so that I wasn't monopolizing the seats, because I thought somebody would have to sit there. And then as the boys were getting on the bus, the leader of the boys, he said, all right, I want all of you to go into the back of the bus and sit together, don't leave any open seats. And then he was saying, and then he said in Japanese, お客様の隣に座るな. And what he was saying was, he was saying, don't sit next to the passengers. But he used the word お客様, which actually means customers. And I don't know why he used that word, because the word for passenger is josha. But what I guess, my point of the story is that he was saying don't sit next to the passengers or the passenger. I don't know if it was plural or singular, because in Japanese they don't distinguish plural and singular. But I'm pretty sure he was referring to me, because I was the only passenger in the back of the bus. I was the only adult passenger in the back of the bus. So I'm pretty sure he was referring to me. He was saying don't sit next to that guy. And what I really was happy about was that he didn't say gaijin or gaikokujin no tonari ni suwaru na. He didn't say that, and he didn't know that I can speak Japanese. For all he knew, I was just a tourist who doesn't know Japanese. He didn't know. And I was really, I don't know, touched, I guess, that he was so respectful towards me, even though he didn't know that I knew Japanese. And he used the word kyakusama, which means customer or passenger in his case. He used that word instead of the word gaikokujin or gaijin, which means foreigner. So I was just really happy about that. And then finally, I was coming home last night, and I was with a friend, and they looked in there's like a little mailbox hole in the door of my neighbor's house next to me, and they looked in there, and they said, hey, there's a cat in there. And I was thinking, that's strange. There's a cat in there, because nobody lives there. Okay, this is actually a long story. I'm not going to get into it now, but like the people that were living next to me had like some kind of mental problems. There was a old lady and her son living there, and they just had a lot of mental problems. And they were also hoarders, so like they never threw stuff away, and they had like trash piled up, and their house, like whenever they opened the door, just this bad odor came out. It was just, and then the old lady, she got taken away to the mental hospital or some kind of facility, because she just couldn't, and her son couldn't take care of her because he had some psychological issues too. So I know nobody's living there, and they had the city go into their house and clean it all out. I mean, they had like a sanitation crew go in there and clean it out, And so I'm thinking, well, nobody lives there, so why is there a cat in there? And, you know, I really, I love animals and I don't like to see them suffer, so I'm kind of concerned about it. But I peeked in the mailbox and the cat looked happy. The cat was just sitting there. It didn't look like he was starving. He didn't meow and say help me, you know. So I'm a little bit, you know, what's up, what's going on? What I'm thinking is that, you know, because they were hoarders and they never threw stuff away, they had a major mouse problem. It was so bad, in fact, that the mice were coming over here to my place, and I mean, I'd come home sometimes and there would be like 2 or 3 mice scurrying around in my apartment, and it was just so creepy. And I did everything. I bought like this is like a little, it sends out a high beam, a high frequency sound beam, and to deter mice. And I did research on how to keep mice out of your house and everything, and they just, you know, they had all this, they never threw stuff away, they kept their trash in their house and everything, so I'm sure it was just infested with mice. And you know, the mice were coming over here. And what I'm thinking now is that in order to kind of get rid of the mouse problem, they probably had a, what do you call it, what is the person called who, an exterminator. Yeah, they probably had an exterminator go in there and get all the mice out. And then what I'm thinking is that just in case, you know, to get those extra mice that they didn't get, they probably put a cat in there to keep the mouse situation under control. And actually, since they've left and since the sanitation crew has cleaned that place out, I haven't seen any mice in my place, so it's been great. And yeah, but I'm going to inquire about this cat and see what the deal is, just to make sure it's okay and everything. Anyway, sorry for rambling on so long, but that's life in Japan.